the Xperia 1 Mark II is my phone of the year so far, and Sony, more than probably any other manufacturer, has a proven track record of giving us amazing flagship phones at a smaller size. And of course the 5 Mark II, I've been so excited about this one. I know you have too, from the comments section below. So before we get into this unboxing, make sure you're subbed, hit the notification bell, because I don't know if you've seen, but I've done, I think it's Andres, is it 9, 10, 11, I don't know, I've lost 12 videos on the Xperia 1 Mark II, and I'm just as fired up about the 5 Mark II. So do all those things that I just said about notification bells, smash like, and let's get into it right now. So the Xperia 1 Mark II launched at £1,200 in the UK, and the 5 Mark II is launching at £799. Wow, that's a big difference. Another reason to get excited. Actually, speaking of reasons to get excited, this is a prototype of some new t-shirts that we're launching here on BTEX. Let me know what you think. Depending on how organized I am this evening, I might even be able to get these live. And there's going to be a costume change in this video, and when I do the costume change, I'm going to let you know some incredibly exciting information about the two phones I've mentioned in this video so far, the 1 Mark II and the 5 Mark II. No one ever reads the paperwork, so we didn't bother showing you that. There is a plug, yippity-doo. No one cares about that either. USB Type-C, I mean, it's great that it has it, but what else was it going to have? So the packaging is Sony. It's very kind of, you know, understated. I like that. First impressions, 21:9, obviously that's what we're expecting. I love 21:9, as I've said in my Xperia 1 Mark II videos. It just works on so many levels that I wasn't anticipating. It's really grown on me. Does it have the svelte good looks of the 1 Mark II but on a smaller scale? Yes, it does, I can tell you that straight away. Now, I noticed from the comments, a few of you were a bit worried about the rounded corners. I'm surprised they did that, because I mean, I never found that a problem on the 1 Mark II, but does it look very, very cool? Yeah, absolutely, it really does. Tiny bit thinner than last year's 5, which this Mark II is replacing. You won't notice though. It's still beautifully, beautifully light. And again, tech reviewers that tell you that for a product to be premium like this, it needs to be really heavy, ignore them. It's rubbish, it's completely wrong. This is a very light device, and I love that. Just like the 1 Mark II. It's got to be one of the lightest flagships ever, but my goodness, it's fantastic. So what else have we got here? The headphone jack. We absolutely love that. And of course, don't forget, last year's 5 did not have that. So that's a very welcome return for the headphone jack there. So let's talk about colors. Black and blue. That always makes me think of my favorite Rolling Stones album. I would like to see more colors here. And of course, mirrored slate. I mean, come on guys. I really hope that makes an appearance at some point. But again, it's a very, very good looking phone, even in this black color. Is it a fingerprint magnet? You bet your bottom dollar it is, just like the 1 Mark II. Gorilla Glass 6, front and back. Very happy about that. Fingerprint scanner on the side. SIM ejector tool is not needed, of course, with this phone, just like the 1 Mark II. And I really like that, because I find that I never have those things when I need them. 128 gigs of storage. You can either pop in 2 SIM cards, or you can just pop in the one and then put your micro SD card in there if you need to do that. Okay, it's nice to have that, isn't it? It's really nice to have that. And it feels ever so premium. It feels great in the hand. It's a really, really good first impression this phone is making. So just before we wrap up the design section here and move on, I'm going to lower the speed of my voice to convey sadness, because I'm actually genuinely worried that a lot of people are going to be turned off this phone by the dedicated Google Assistant button. I don't know why it's suddenly made an appearance here. I don't like it. Now, one of many reasons why I like the Xperia 1 Mark II so much is it gives us a stock, more or less, Android experience, but with that sprinkling of Sony magic. Now, let's move on to the display and do a quick costume change. So this is it, the second prototype in our collection, which is coming on leaps and bounds. Actually, there is a range of t-shirts coming up, which we've been working on since oh my goodness, I mean, months now, which I think you will absolutely love. Personally, this is my favorite. I don't know if I managed to get organized enough for these to be in the video description below when you see this. If I didn't, apologies, come back and we'll see the next video. But yeah, we're serious about this. Right now, display. Always on display. For some reason I forget to say that, but I love the fact that it is. 6.1 inch OLED, of course, and because this is Sony we're talking about, there is total, complete respect for the content, i.e. no notch, no hole punch, none of that. And I have to say, at the beginning, I thought that's really good when I first started appreciating that, but the more I've lived with the Xperia 1 Mark II as a daily driver, whenever I go back to any other phone now, my goodness, the notches and the hole punches annoy the hell out of me. That never used to be the case before. So kudos to Sony, love the fact that they respect the content. What else have we got here? Full HD Plus, which is fine for this size of phone. I know there's a bit of a hoo-ha about should it have been 4K. For this size of phone, it's absolutely fine. And of course, we get that super duper refresh rate, 120 Hertz. I mean, that makes this thing so beautiful to swish about. I mean, it really is. First impressions again, really solid here. Absolutely love it. Deep blacks, check. Brightness, is it good enough? Seems to be so far. It's been a bit murky today, the weather, but we're going to test this thing fully. Make sure you're subbed for the full review, and make sure you hit that notification bell as well. Did I mention that? If I did, apologies. Creator mode, is that here? Yes, it is. Check. All of these little sprinklings of Sony magic that I mentioned before. But for me, the star of the show this time around is the 120 Hertz refresh rate. So Sony is famous for nailing their displays. They've always been great. Sound is another big thing for Sony. And with these Xperia phones, they almost always are very impressive. So far, again, first impressions, absolutely excellent. Dual front-facing stereo speakers. They're not the loudest, we noticed that straight away, but like the Xperia 1 Mark II, it seems, they're loud enough. And what they do have that other louder speakers don't have is a beautiful, nuanced, detailed sound. So I'll take that every day of the week. LDAC support, Dolby Atmos support. This is a great phone for music lovers, and of course, music lovers will definitely want to make sure, or even deal lovers will want to make sure that they nab that deal where you get the earphones I can never remember the name of. Let's put that up here somewhere. Very cool indeed. Digital sound enhancement, check. Yeah, I mean, I could go on. This sounds good. I'm very excited about the full review here. Now, let's talk about performance. Snapdragon 865. Again, this is a proper flagship. Don't let the small size fool you. It's not the Plus version, and I don't care. 8 gigs of RAM, very solid. This is going to be powerful enough for anyone. If someone told me that this phone wasn't powerful enough for them, I wouldn't believe them. Now, with all this power, it wouldn't be any good if the battery life wasn't good enough. Now, we have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, so it's bigger than last year's Xperia 5. Getting through a day should be absolutely no problem at all. So that's the first good thing to say about it. But let's get on to something that's a bit of a worry for some people. There's no wireless charging. Now, it seems, out of all the comments I've read, there's a kind of a 50-50 split. Those of you who say, don't care, never wanted it anyway, it's rubbish, and those of you who've already invested in the wireless chargers, you've got them at home and you don't want to leave them there doing nothing. I can see both sides of this debate. So yes, we can look after the battery, as I mentioned, with battery care, having the battery top off when it's being charged at 80 or 90%. It's not going to get there wildly quickly with the charger in the box. If you want to go fast charging, you'll have to buy that separately, just worth flagging. So before we wrap this up, let's get to what for many is going to be the star of the show here, the triple camera setup over here on the back. We've got the Zeiss branding there, this beautiful coating. It looks very cool. There's no time of flight sensor here, which is worth flagging, you know, unlike the Xperia 1 Mark II. 12 megapixels across the board, 70mm telephoto, 24mm primary, 16mm ultra wide. We loved using eye autofocus on the 1 Mark II. with our model here, a dog and a cat, works for all of them, and I'm pleased to say that technology is here in the 5 Mark II as well. 20 frame per second burst shooting is a thing here, very happy about that. Of course, I mean, there's Pro mode, there's full HDR support, HDR shooting by default up to 60 frames per second. You can do 4K, of course, if you prefer. You can do portrait mode, there's a slow motion mode here. Portrait selfie is a thing. Now the selfie camera, that's interesting because look, on the Xperia 1 Mark II, I had to be totally upfront on that. I thought the selfie camera was pants, and it's shaping up like this could be a repeat performance. I'm going to hold my judgment until we've really tested it properly, but it's an 8 megapixel front facing camera. I'm not hugely optimistic about that, I have to say. So look, this phone is all about, just like its big brother, the 1 Mark II, getting into pro mode. If you're the kind of person, you don't have to be a pro, I'm not, but I have really enjoyed, more than I ever thought possible, getting into pro mode and getting really, really beautiful shots, learning more about the art of photography, learning more about capturing really beautiful video. So look, if you're the kind of person that wants to get into that, you will love this device. We're going to cover that perfectly. That's a bit of a bold statement. We're going to cover that to the best of our ability in the upcoming full review. So look, conclusion. This phone here, the 5 Mark II, has made a beautiful first impression on the whole team. Everyone was excited about seeing this. I'm wildly excited about reviewing this for real. So make sure you're subbed. Stick around with BTEX, and actually we have new products that are going to be reviewed by me on rooftops in this city and other cities coming up now from Google, Apple, and of course Sony here. And it's not just products, we have a new human we're going to unveil here on BTEX, a new presenter, one of my favorite tech journalists in the world, someone I know very well, someone who's actually, I think, incredibly cool. I can't wait for you to meet him. I forgot to say, Sony's famous for its world firsts and innovation, and I was thinking there's something I forgot to say. Well, it is 4K HDR, 120 frames per second slow motion movie recording. That's a world first apparently, so we'll be testing that out. You might have seen our slow motion video that we did a few days ago. That was pretty good fun filming. Playback up to 5 times slow motion when recorded at 24 frames per second. Look, this is a great phone for slow motion. We're going to give you the full beans on that very soon. Was there anything else I forgot to say, Andres?
I don't think so.
Great. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.